Good afternoon, fellow patriots and defenders of democracy. Welcome to the madness. My name is Beverton. We're here in the event you don't have any idea who I am. My name is Beverton McGill. I have a bachelor's in finance, aka legal thievery, and I have an MBA in management focused in finance. But we're not really here to talk about me. We're just going to segue into telling you why I'm talking about certain things so you don't think I'm a complete moron. But keeping it right along, we're here to talk about the wonderful presentation that most Americans seem to be holding out faith for in spite of the pending November 4th election, and we're not really talking about who you're voting for. We're talking about the additional $1,200 stimulus check that everybody seems to want because we all had a wonderful socialist windfall earlier in the year, depending on how much money you earn. And essentially the breakdown was this. Anyone earning below $75,000, single, got $1,200. In the event you have a child or dependents that you're claiming, and most people have two, you got $500 each, which in turn isn't the simple math, $1,000 for your dependents, $1,200 for you, total $2,200. In the event you became unemployed because of the wonderful thing called coronavirus, which impacted certain industries a little bit more than others, typically service industries, hotels, restaurants, what would that be? People who float in petri dishes, cruise ships, vacation destinations, anything that required people to mingle or have a wonderful notion of social gathering, bars, so on and so forth. All of those industries were basically decimated to the point where now we have a host of restaurants filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, but that's not why we're here, because most of those companies got PPP loans, whatever it is, they all got millions of dollars courtesy of the government to fund their employees, which they all now, oddly enough, decided to fire because maximizing profits is still the number one course of most corporations. Now, back to the stimulus. We're currently dealing with the second round of seeing if we can all get more free money. My odd take with this is I'm always conflicted within the notion of America and the American public, because when we had the opportunity to support someone who would be giving us, let's say, $1,000 a month, yang, or think we need to raise people's income to basically make up for the money that we're all asking for now, Bernie Sanders, the majority of the country didn't vote for them. So, within that, I don't understand it, and maybe you can explain it in the comment section, but personally, it's a conversation that we really need to have. The next thing that's kind of confusing within this wonderful notion of stimulus watch would be the country's predominantly saying that it's a capitalist country until something negative happens, and then we all seem to run back to the notion of, but you need to provide a safety net. It also depends on who it's affecting and what segment of society is it affecting. If it's just affecting some of the disproportionate people who people don't care about, no one cares. Think drug laws. If it's affecting everyone, then we need to do something about it very quickly. Which, I don't know, maybe there's a nuance there that we also need to speak about. But we're going to keep it moving. Right now, the company as a whole also doesn't seem to be speaking about things in terms of billions of dollars anymore. We only speak trillions. 1.8 trillion, 2.2 trillion, 3.4 trillion. Oddly enough, the only thing that never changes is the amount of money the people get. Right now, it seems like the Democrats and Republicans have a wonderful separate notion where the Republicans are saying the bill is too goddamn expensive. Pardon my pun there. The president currently just upped the number from, I think, 1.2 or 1.3 trillion to 1.8 trillion. And the Democrats, I think, wanted 2.2 trillion, but I've also seen this number up to 3.4 trillion. And the only thing that remains constant is that people are only getting $1,200. And I'm not sure if people really understand the math there, but where's the rest of the money going? The thing that seems to be causing this wonderful separate notion of people not coming to terms with these supposed disagreeing on the final number is funding for tracing, tracking, and financially enabling people to take steps to fund the science to prevent the continuing spread of coronavirus based on what the science and let's just say academia say they need to keep the virus under control. That is basically what's causing the very big discontent and the notion that for some reason all of a sudden everybody's now concerned that printing trillions of dollars might be a negative impact on like the deficit, value of our money, quality of life going forward, which I think was all explained earlier, where they were saying that based on the Fed keeping the interest rate at zero, we can basically print a lot of money and then calculate for inflation, which down the road, as we kick the can of responsibility down the road, no one gets to be negatively impacted on it as long as we keep the invisible hands that are kind of in the back of society twiddling with the markets. Yes, that's wonderful. That's a wonderful economic conversation that we all need to have a conversation to with the we do not put our hand on the scale to alter our economic swing, but we seem to be consistently doing it in the back end on our stock market, and let's not even get into that. My personal question here is, do you think we really should be giving out $1,200 more to people, plus the additional $500 per dependent, or do you think we should really increase the money? The other major stipulation that is causing this wonderful rift would be the $600 additionally for unemployed people. Now, here goes what I think, my opinion, is the major problem. Most people are going to not go to work. $600 additionally a week is $2,400 a month in addition to your unemployment money. So if you're getting $400 from unemployment, you're going to get an additional $600 per week, which then brings your total pay to $1,000 a week. And most people aren't making that much. Most people are in the median between $650 and maybe $800. So for the month, they're gaining $800 after taxes, and they're really not doing anything. That has always been a wonderful cause for conflict within the United States, which is also why many states refuse to let people speak about how much money they earn. If you go into certain states or certain industries and openly speak about the amount of money you make, it's grounds for you to be fired. But once again, things people don't talk about and things people don't think. It also creates the ground for the company to take advantage of people because people don't know how much they're each making in relation. Just something to think about. But within that, why is it that we haven't really upped the amount of money that the people want? The scientific demand requires supposedly $75 billion. I have no idea how much of that is administrative fees, but the funding or the proposal bill is only presenting 45. My thing here is, as most companies like to tell you, you need to do more with less. Oddly enough, no one takes this type of approach when the government's writing the check. So, there goes another problem. And we can always go that there's always this wonderful notion of inefficiency when the government is doing anything. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I also did time in the Air Force, and if you would like to see a wonderful way of how budgets just go out up into the blue skies, look at the F-22 plane that they built that was projected to cost $50 million per plane, but somehow ended up costing $150 million per plane, and they still don't work. They can't work in certain weather, and they can only work in California, pristine, sunny conditions. And in the event you send them into anything outside of that, it'll always cause a conflict. But bringing this all back to the notion of the stimulus, we're all still at a disagreement on, in the event we're going to be signing a bill to give the people or the industries who are in dire need, well, not even the industries, more the people of these industries, the service industry predominantly, who are hurting. Now, I'm saying that with the transitional notion that these people were always hurting before. It's just that right now it seems like they're being used as a tool to leverage money and to swing presentation. Because if we were really concerned about the notion of this, we would have a quality of life and a livable wage income. I think Australia does it, and I'm almost certain it's about $22 an hour. Things are relatively expensive because inflation, math. You can't just keep growing everything and keeping the people doing the work at the bottom not paying anything, so they can't really pay for stuff. However, at the moment, there's a grand disagreement in regards to if we're getting our $1,200 plus your $500 per dependent, depending on you, or that additional $600 a week. And my honest take is that I don't think it's going to happen, because I don't see how it benefits the president. I see how it could benefit the Democrats, but the president has to sign off on it. So that within itself doesn't bode well. Let me know what you think, and we'll get back with each other, and I'll be in the comments. But thank you for checking out the channel. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll get back to you with another topic.